Game number 12 for the Boston Bruins this year on the 2016-2017 season. It's still early, folks. But for whatever reason, the Boston Bruins just cannot handle the New York Rangers, as I think they've lost to them now 5-2 in 2 consecutive games. But prior to that, the Boston Bruins had a 3-game win streak, so positives, negatives. Probably the worst game of Tuukka Rask on the season this year, last game. But we're putting that in the past. We got to put that in the past. And we got to move on and try to get 2 points yet again and back in the win column. And what a good game to do it against, as the Bruins at home take on the Buffalo Sabres, or the Sabres if you will. A good young team with Jack Eichel, among others, but still not a team that's going to be anywhere near contending to the playoffs. This is a winnable game that they got to win. And ironically enough, considering who they're playing tomorrow, they start Tuukka Rask, your $7 million goaltender. You'd think you'd start him regardless of his performance in Montreal, especially with the year he's had. But I understand. Get the 2 points when you can. Tough schedule, 6 games in 9 days. So, you got to mesh what you can. Anyway, power play for Boston has been a severe problem. With 29th in the league right now. That's pitiful for this team, considering some of the offensive talent that they have. However, I get it. There is no second unit, to be fair. We'll see how they do on this game, taking on the Buffalo Sabres at home prior to going on to face the hated Habs. This is the Bruins Recap Show. So as I said before, it is 2 U's, 2 K's, Tuukka Rask. He's taking on Robin Lehner of the Buffalo Sabres. Scoring, we started off into the second period as Boston will take a power play and they'll score on it. Well, that's a new one. Usually they let the other team score on their power plays. But the shot will hit Robin Lehner right in the face, bounce off, hit the goalie stick, and trickle its way in for Brad Marchand, his 5th of the season, and number 5 on the quest for 40. Hashtag quest for 40, young mo. Hashtag quest for 40 on Twitter for Brad Marchand. A lucky bounce, I'll admit, but good goal nonetheless. As a break you need, you got to have the breaks. Later on in the second, it's David Backes getting drilled in the face. Draws a 4-minute double minor, and the guy wants to get back out there. Like, hey, I know you blew the whistle for the fact that I got hurt, but I want to get out on the power play. That guy's a hockey player. That is why I like the David Backes deal. That guy has got marbles.
Marbles? Huevos?
Anyway, later on in that power play, that 5-on-3 power play, as they got another double minor penalty against Buffalo, David Krejci, hey, it's 12 games. Welcome to the scoring party. He finally puts one in the back of the net. I can finally say David Krejci has shown up. I don't know where the world he was for the first 11, but he scores up on the power play, makes it a 2-0 hockey game on a one-timer set up by Torrey Krug. Later on in the second period, and they score a third time. It's Riley Nash, although it could have been Matt Bolesky. Who knew? But this is the end of the pointless line that featured Jimmy Hayes, who was a healthy scratch tonight, Matt Bolesky, and Riley Nash. The pointless line has points. I can't call him that anymore. As Riley Nash gets his first of the year for Boston, it goes off a Buffalo defender, or it might have went off Matt Bolesky. Hard to tell. They gave it to Riley Nash. So another good bounce for Boston makes it a 3-0 hockey game. So later on in the third period, and Boston is on the power play again, and it's David Pastrnak. He puts it in. Give me some pasta on the power play. I love it. 8 goals in 10 games. The kid is on fire. This is the hottest scorer Boston's got going. He needs to be out there on the power play, on that first unit. He's just a talented goal scorer. And yes, I mean 8 goals in 10 games, because he was suspended for 2 games. So you got to put that into account. On a beautiful wide open rebound shot, buries it. Pastrnak, that is it. 4-0 win. Big win for Boston. A big bounce-back game after a pitiful performance against the New York Rangers. And they're going to need this same type of attitude and this same type of effort tomorrow night as they head into Montreal to play the Habs in the Bell Center. And they won't have Tuukka Rask in the back of the net. It'll probably be Zane McIntyre. Which, again, I've mentioned my thoughts on this earlier. You got a $7 million goaltender. Put him out there. See what happens. He's been hot all season, but it's still early, and you got to have him available for other games. I get it. Whatever. Still, much-needed win, much-needed 2 points for Boston as they go to 7-5 on the season, and we will take it to the 3 stars of the game. Star number 1, I'm giving it to Matt Bolesky. Great play in this game. Got himself an assist. Almost, maybe, possibly should have got himself a goal in the second period. That's neither here nor there. I'm sure he'll take his 1 point. And a great performance, actually showing up on the power play, being a physical presence in front of Robin Lehner. Star number 2 with the power play goal, the technical game winner. Number 5 on the quest for 40, Brad Marchand, staying hot. That top line, Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak, is going to be a force throughout the entire year. You get past that line, you eventually shit rolls downhill and it'll trickle down. Anyway, star number 1 for Boston is, of course, 2U's, 2K's, Tuukka Rask, 32 saves on 32 shots. That, folks, is a shutout, his second of the season, and also a big performance in the first period, stopping all 13 of Buffalo's shots. Tuukka Rask, outside of one bad game against the Rangers, has been fairly impressive. I believe he is 7-1 at this point, at this juncture. 7-1 on the season. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I know you will in the comments below. Anyway, tomorrow, Election Day. Folks, get out, go vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. I'm not telling you who to vote for. It's really none of my business. But just go and vote, because every vote counts. And then after you vote, grab a cold one, sit back, watch some hockey, because between those two candidates, the world is going to hell in a handbasket one way or the other. So sip a cold one, watch hockey while you can. Because tomorrow night, it is the Bruins and the Habs. It is a huge rivalry game on Tuesday night. We'll see you there on the next Bruins Recap Show.